Tanya Unkovich joins me in the studio, and today on the show we're continuing something we talked about a little while back, and that is the power of now. And why are we doing it? Well, there's a lot to say when it comes to that very subject.
Absolutely. The power of living in the moment, being mindful of what's going on around you in the moment, not wanting to run away. Oh, I could keep going.
Yeah, it's a very big thing, isn't it? Because I think for many of us, we either want to spend our time in our past, reliving things, going over stuff in our minds, or, and I'd say this is for a lot of us, worrying about the future.
Yes.
What's it going to look like? What's tomorrow going to be like? Am I going to cope with it? You know, I think this, that, and the other thing is going to happen. It's very hard to live in the now, isn't it?
It sure is. And, you know, there's actually a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which I was discovered many years ago. And it is about living in the present moment. It is about experiencing what's happening with you right now. Me and you talking together now.
Having a chat. Enjoying a conversation, yeah.
Being present with Diane as I'm being Tanya. Being our true selves, authentic, nothing to run away from, just being and sharing. That's a great experience. And yet people find it hard to do that in relationships or...
I'm going to say, and this is sort of, it just came to mind, I think when you're a really time-oriented person and you're always thinking to the next thing, being in the now can be quite tricky, can't it? And I think being a radio person, that's my default, is thinking, okay, I've got 7 minutes to do this thing, next thing's on the way. So my brain is quite wired for that, but it does mean you don't live in the present.
Very much so, very much so. And you're talking to someone who does that all the time. My husband often says to me, oh my God, you exhaust me. You're already halfway into the afternoon and I'm still in right now, you know.
Yeah, interesting.
So it does mean being present and experiencing it, because the truth is, if we don't feel something now, if we don't sit with something now, if we don't do something now, or if we don't say something now, the chances are that moment will pass and we won't get the opportunity to say it again, to feel it again, to do it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think that is a risk for so many of us, because we are thinking forward, we're looking back, not experiencing what now has to offer. And I guess my question now, Tanya, is how do we change this? How do we change this way of being if we've had a lifetime of looking forward or looking back?
Get okay with discomfort, because so often we don't want to stay in the now because it's uncomfortable.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to do this task right now because it's bringing up a feeling in me of lack of self-worth, or oh, I don't like this task, so I'm going to procrastinate and I'm going to put it off. Oh, it's making me feel dumb. I don't want to say this now because I'm too scared to. What will they think of me? Oh, they're going to start questioning me.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this hurt and pain and grief now, so I think I'll run from it. I think I'll go and have another wine. I think I'll go and see what I can eat. So we run away because we don't want to feel what's going on for us now.
I think I do this, and this is not a deep thing that I'm sharing at all, Tanya, but I wonder if other people can relate. Exercising. I'm constantly thinking, when is this over? I cannot enjoy the now of it. And, you know, I've done exercise classes and I'm like looking at the time thinking, 20 minutes to go. Oh. Yeah, but it's not being present in the now and actually just enjoying the fact that actually we're doing our body good, right?
Yes. Change the meaning around exercise. I mean, you're doing it, I'm assuming, because you enjoy exercising or what it feels like later on. But in that moment, what's happening with your body, you're not really keen on, right?
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But I see the results after, and that's a nice feeling.
Great. Yeah. And look, I experienced that the other day when I went for a swim. I've only just started swimming again. I think I've mentioned it to you.
You did, yeah.
And I used to swim a lot before, but now, gosh, you know, I'm finally up to 900 metres. And yesterday in the water altar, my heart was really pounding and I didn't like it at all. And I wanted to stay at the end of the lane and not kick off again because I didn't like that. But you know what? I went, Tanya, if you don't do this, then nothing's going to change. And so I made myself do it. It didn't feel comfortable, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
If something doesn't feel comfortable, be okay with the discomfort. Your life will be more comfortable ultimately if you're okay with discomfort, because that's what life is, isn't it? It's a cycle of discomfort, joy, heartache, everything, and yet we want to run from the discomfort. So the more you can sit with discomfort, the more you will be okay with now.
I think looking to God is really important, right?
Without a doubt.
Because no one wants to feel that discomfort. But I think you can see a purpose in it if you look to the Bible and you look to what God says about those difficult times. And it may be something that's quite small, like me wanting to get out of exercise, or it may be something really big, something that's really hard that's happening right now.
And there's a favourite quote of mine about not being frightened of the size of the task. Shall I share it with you?
Yes, please. Love scripture. Yeah.
Be strong and courageous and do the work. Don't be afraid or discouraged by the size of the task, for the Lord my God is with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. He will see to it that everything is finished correctly.
That is such a great verse. Where is it from?
It's in Chronicles 28.
Very
So whenever
nice.
I feel in a pickle, if ever I think, oh my God, this day is going to be so big, I've got up so early, and then the story starts, I'm going to be tired by 2 o'clock, and then the ranting starts, I stop and I breathe and I remember. God never gives us more than we can handle.
It's a really good thing to remember, isn't it? Yeah. And God gives us strength for those really difficult moments too.
Absolutely.
We don't always have to be strong. Not every task we do is difficult.
Yeah.
But He gives us strength to do the things that are.
And if you get hooked into, oh my God, what's the time now? How many more hours have I got to get through today? I don't want to do it. I'm going to invite you to get a little sticker, a little round sticker.
Okay.
And put it on your watch and just write the word now. So that every time you look at your watch, it says now.
Can we do that with our cell phones too? Because I think that's a big risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll remind you, okay, now, all right, I better stay in now. I better experience this moment now.
That's a really great thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea because we do look forward. We do wonder what's next, but now is important too.
Feel the discomfort, whatever it is. But the thing is, there's also joy, and so often we even run from joy. It's so common that people don't know how to be with joy, with the ecstasy of life itself. We'll do anything to run away from it because we don't feel worthy of it.
So again, we're back to that whole thing of self-worth.
Funny that, isn't it?
Funny that. We've got to work on both of those things, right?
And instead of saying, I've got to work on this, let go of the stuff that's holding you back. Because as soon as someone says to me, oh, I better work harder on that, I'm going to say, no, that sounds too hard. Just let go, just surrender. And it may mean letting go of all of that baggage that you're carrying that keeps the self-worth at bay.
This is really good stuff, Tanya. The Power of the Now. You know, you mentioned a book of the same name.
Yes, it's exactly called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, Eckhart Tolle.
Would you recommend that for people?
Look, it is a great book, but I mean, the title has said it all. You probably don't need to. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to read it. We've talked about it
Book
already.
done. Yeah.
Just stay in the present moment and do it when you're praying, when you're meditating. Just say, Lord, help me stay in now.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for joining me on the show. It is very, very inspiring. If people do want to check out what you do, you help people with this whole area of living in the present and working on, I've said that word, working.
Being your greatest self.
Being your most magnificent self is what I think we said last week. Yes. So if people want to get in touch, how do they do so?
Just go to my website, tanyaunkovich.com, or social media.